Today we are going to be talking about a man named Frank Blaichman in his life before, during, and after the Holocaust. Let's start with his early life, before the Holocaust. Frank was born on December 11th, 1922, and before the Holocaust he was living a normal life in his hometown of Kamilka, Poland, which is where he and his family lived and where they were part of the hundreds of Jews living there. His family was mostly made of merchants. His grandmother was a store owner. His father bought and sold grains from farmers to villages. His life was going real good until one day, in September 1933, the Nazis have invaded his town, and this is where his life is going to change from a 16-year-old Jewish boy to a victim of the Holocaust. Months after the invasion, the Germans issued laws in order to restrict Jews of their many original rights. The laws were they can't own property, so they must give up their homes and businesses. They must leave the area. They can only travel with special papers, and they always must be seen with the armband that had a Star of David, which they were always required to wear, and they were also subject to be taken away in order to send them to work camps. Frank, on the other hand, though, didn't always follow these rules, but he didn't do it out of stupidity or by accident. He did it out of love for his family. You see, with all these laws set in place, you can see it's kind of hard for the Jews to make money. So Frank knew that he had to do something. So he went to Larberto and then Lublin in order to try to trade things in an attempt to get some supplies and some money. He was successful in these trades, but was still in danger of getting caught because he traveled without his papers and his armband. Still, month after month, though, life became harder for Frank and the Jews. Jewish men were sent to work in the fields. Frank was assigned to this duty, but Frank, though, he didn't always do the work, though. He would pay people to take his spot, which was really a risky move because if he got caught, he would get in trouble. But in 1942, though, the situation became worse for the Jews. People were dying due to hunger, disease, and death sentences. Jews were also being harassed by Germans more and more. People said that mass shootings were taking place. Even Frank's own cousin and uncle were killed for having fresh food in their house, which was which was against the rule that was set against them. In October 1942, the Junit, which was the Jewish council that carried the Nazis' orders, said that all Jews of Kamenko were going to be sent to the ghetto located in Lubitro. Frank, however, managed to hide, and he was forced to go to this ghetto because he hid, but at the cost of probably never seeing his family again. But Frank knew a lot of non-Jewish families he could visit. He was greeted by a non-Jewish farming family that brought him in, even though it was policy to shoot anyone who helped out the Jews. However, though, one day the farmer told him that um, him told him that his family and all the other Jews were not going to the ghetto, but instead being put on a train to a death camp. Frank soon realized that he would not make it if he just stayed at the farm, so he fled into the forest. When he got to his spot in the forest, he was relieved to see other Jews sheltered in bunkers. But he soon realized that the Jews were building up defenses and he got nervous. And one day, though, the German soldiers advanced into the woods and found the bunkers and they started to assault them. Frank, along with 21 survivors, though, they were lucky to um, not be killed, other than the 80 Jews that were massacred by this raid. Frank and his group realized that the woods were not safe, and they had to leave. So they decided to split up and go into different towns. Frank and a small group came upon a town of Marcusville in 1943. Frank made alliances with the refugees in the town. He also came out upon a man, Samuel Gruber, and his 28 other men that escaped prisoner of war camp. Gruber and his men had fought in the Polish army before, and another man came along. The one that led the now Marcusville group was Iser Eisenberg, who led the group. Frank and his new and old group were now one. They started off by hunting down spies. They destroyed telephone poles in order to disrupt communication among the Nazis. They damaged dairy factories, which is where the Germans mostly got their food from. And Frank met up with another group, which was a communistic group led by Arina Ledua, that provided him and his group supplies to fight. He was assigned then to take the future Prime Minister of Poland to Soviet command. Frank Blaichman, still alive, aged 94, had a really good story about he stood up against the Nazis and their rules, finding his way through those rules and the Nazis. I have a quote here, something to take in though. I quote, "I'm very proud of what I did all those years. The reality was we had nothing to lose, and our way to survive was to fight." This quote was interesting to me because this right here is what probably kept him going through those years. He knew that he probably won't be able to see his family once he got the news, and you know, he knew that the Germans were going to be mean to him no matter what because he was a Jew. So he knew if he died in action fighting off those Germans or standing up and not like fighting them, but like standing up at all, against them, he knew that he did something right. So his story is really interesting, and I think you should find it interesting too.